How much of his success, you guys, do you attribute to his competitive drive?
I attribute a lot of it. When you look at Tom Brady and you look at his attributes and what he might go into a combine or trading session with, you see his height, his weight, his speed, his vertical jump. You're not going to, immediately say this guy is one of the best quarterbacks of all time. But when you look at how much he loves the game, that's what puts him in a position to where he is. I was once told, the more you love something, the more you invest in it. And the more you invest in it, the harder you work. And if you work at something so hard, day in and day out, you live it, you breathe it, you sleep it, it's harder for you to let that go. And that's what I feel about Tom. And we talk about him not retiring. He said, I'll play till I'm 45. He's given so much to this game, which is why there's never a situation where Tom Brady feels like he's out of it because he invested so much in it. And it's not just football. That's life in general. Talk to my kids and say, listen, the more you invest in your schoolwork, the harder it is for you to give up on something. And that's what Tom Brady does. And that's why he's like a living legend, but also extreme motivation for everybody doing everything.
It's awesome. I think a lot of people are born with drive, but is it nature versus nurture, right? This is one of these things where we say about these quarterbacks, the fit is almost more important than the quarterback. So if Tom Brady was to go to the Cleveland Browns in 1999 or 2000, right, would he have had the career without Belichick grooming, then you look at some of these other quarterbacks. If Carson Wentz was drafted by a different team than the Eagles and they were the ones I think there is something, too, where he ended up, both in college at Michigan, playing for Lloyd Carr and all the talent around him and having to compete for all that, and also Belichick and Kraft and the entire Patriots apparatus around him. I mean, there were some veteran guys, William McGinnis and Teddy Bruschi, all those guys. So, to me, it's the combination of that inner fire.
Perfect.
But it also matters where you go. A lot of these guys, these quarterbacks, have competitive fire. They end up in the wrong city or the wrong team, wrong situation, and they're out of the league in 5 years.
Flickers out.
Yeah.
Fortuitous landing spot. He's like the king of right place, right time. But I watched both the first 2 episodes of Tom vs. Time last night. First of all, his daughter is adorable. Let's just get that on the record. She's barely in it, and she's completely adorable. But aside from that, he's got this quote that's just, as a Patriots fan, it makes your skin.
What is it?
He's like, I give my life to this game. So if you're going to compete with me, you better be ready to give your life. He's basically like, you better die to beat me. And in terms of the drive, everyone wants to compare him to Jordan. There's no athletic comparison whatsoever. Michael Jordan was bursting with athletic ability, the 50-inch vertical, all that stuff. Tom Brady is a very accurate passer who doesn't run, doesn't move very well, skinny, all that stuff. It is a lot to do with the drive, and you got to watch Time vs. Time before the Super Bowl. It is must-see.
I feel like it's all hard work with him and hard. Like we can, talk about the comparisons, and I don't know if there's anybody in the league more competitive than him. It's not to say, but if you look at what he did earlier in his career to now, it's always Peyton Manning is this cerebral guy and everybody else. You could make the argument Tom is at his level or has surpassed him at this point, and that's hard work. That is, nobody out there is going to outwork me, and I haven't seen the Facebook yet, but I'm sure that's what it's all about. And we hear from so many of his family members and his teammates and former teammates about his competitive drive. So I really think that is what stands apart from everything, and that would be no matter anywhere he'd ever be.
It's true.
Any landing spot.
Peter, you made a point last week about Tom at the line of scrimmage, and if you look at him and watch him pick apart a defense before the snap even starts, you're right about that comparison to Peyton Manning. No. It's not just him having drive, it's also his IQ, high IQ.